Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is the Indie Soul Prepper coming back at you again with another news story. Uh, Turns out that a lot of our state police and local law enforcement agencies are starting to spend a lot of money on a device called the Stingray 2. Um, like I said, I heard about it on the radio, and it was a red flag to me when I heard how much it cost. It was almost $400,000. So I was definitely curious to see what the tax money was being spent on. And upon doing a little bit of digging, trying to find out some more information about it, I come to realize that there's just not much out there. I mean, it's few and far between as far as the mainstream media or any news stories about it. And as I come to realize, it looks like it's just because, at least here in Indiana, the state police just isn't talking about it. I mean, they're being tight-lipped about it. The only person that I've found a good article about is from this gentleman named Drew Myers with the Reporter's Notebook. And I'll kind of skim through this and give you some bullet points through it. This year, the Indiana State Police paid $373,995 for a device that the law enforcement personnel have described as a powerful tool in the fight against crime and terrorism. It could allow investigators in a surveillance vehicle to park in a crowded area and track the movements of anyone nearby with a cell phone and capture the numbers of people's incoming and outgoing calls and text messages, all of which concern civil liberties and open government groups. They worry that the technology could be used to violate innocent Hoosiers' constitutionally protected rights to privacy if proper checks and balances aren't in place. Well, that's what our country is supposed to be based upon, is checks and balances, but we know that those are being usurped every day by this lawless administration we got running the country. And as the saying goes, the fish rots from the head down. So, all these bureaucratic entities like the police departments around the country, I mean, they're just following, what the head of office, what the head of state's doing. You got Eric Withholder. I mean, we've had congressional committees, ask for testimony and ask for documentation on Fast and Furious and whatnot. It's never happened before, but this man, Eric Withholder, he just, ain't worried about it. So that's what we got going. When you got a Justice Department as corrupt as that is, that's just, that's what they're doing. They're just following the lead. So not only do you got the NSA, tracking and spying on you and shipping your information overseas, it winds up in the Beast computer, and that's a real computer. It's called the Beast. You can Google it, and it's located in Brussels, Belgium. So if that wasn't bad enough, now we got our local officials collecting our information as well, and they're doing the same old scenario that the government always does, which is problem, reaction, solution. They ignore certain crimes, let it escalate. They let illegal aliens populate the areas, and they bring with them all the trials and tribulations from their country, and it comes here to America, and the crime starts going through the roof, and there's the problem. And then you get the reaction from the crowds, usually going to be a bunch of sheep saying, "Oh, help me, government," And here they come as the saviors, but they're not here to save anything. They're just here to take your freedoms. But going through this report here, this gentleman's done, says Indiana's largest police agency aren't saying what they do with the technology. They're mum on whose data they've collected so far, and they're not talking about what steps they take to safeguard the data, citing concerns that releasing any information would endanger public safety by hindering the agency's ability to fight crime and combat terrorism. They won't even say whether they ask a judge for a search warrant before they turn the equipment on. On a national level, police officials at other agencies say that such secrecy is essential to thwart terror attacks and fight crime. Some said the devices are used in extraordinary circumstances. Whatever. It's all a bunch of baloney. I mean, this is just another tool in the shed, if you will, of the police state that we got being put together right in front of our very eyes. And you add this up with the NSA, you add it up with the microphones that they're now putting in a lot of the street lamps. They're supposed to be gunshot detectors, but you know, they're really super sensitive microphones that can pick up people talking. Let's see, let's go on here. In one case, this is going to explain how the abuse of power is already happening with this technology. It says the South Carolina sheriff obtained cell phone data from an unknown number of people just to investigate a rash of car burglaries that included the theft of guns from where? The sheriff's SUV. In another instance, here's where we get into trampling over the people's rights. Miami police told the city council they intended to collect cell phone data to track protesters at a World Trade event. Now, there you go. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're going to use this to, just like the IRS is squeezing the Tea Party with, you know, the 501(c) and wanting to know what you pray and this and that and the other. You know, this is just another way to keep tabs on you. Let's go ahead and go on here. The Indiana State Police paid Harris $373,995 this spring for a Stingray, but police officials were reluctant to share even that. State police officials initially refused to provide any records related to the agency's contract with Harris or grants they obtained. After the Star appealed the denial to the Indiana Public Access Counselor, the state's arbiter of public records disputes, the agency provided a one-page purchase order which provided no clues to how the device works or how and when it may be used. To receive more information, Public Access Counselor Luke Britt said, and harm the agency's ability to investigate terrorists. So, you know, it's more of the same. They pull up in this van. If you're in the vicinity, you got your phone on you, you're hit. You know, they're going to get, you know, all your information. And this is something that they're putting in place before an event would happen. It's just like all the MRAPs and all the military equipment, you know, because when the petrodollar does fall, or we get a big enough natural disaster or false flag or whatever it may be, you know, this is a tool that they're going to use. You know, Rahm Emanuel, what did he say? Never let a crisis go to waste. So they're going to have these tools in place. So if something happens, we get an EMP, we lose our power, you know, you're not getting any media, boom, they get out, they activate, you know, the cells within the police. They got their lists of people that they saw at Tea Party rallies, whatever, and then they can use this technology to go locate them and do what they do according to the n.d.a.a. But here's the purchase order, and that's about all we can get on it right now. Like I said, the police isn't talking about it. And here locally, I'm not sure where Mayor Ballard stands with a lot of this surveillance. I know he is a retired Marine, and once a Marine, always a Marine. And you know, anytime that the Marines wanted to come here to Indy and do like urban warfare drills, he's been more than happy to allocate land for them to do that. And excuse me, in fact, on the northeast side at a mall that's closed down, it's called Eastgate Mall, or used to be, he allocated that, and they were doing, you know, bringing the Blackhawks in, and they were rappelling down on the ropes down to the top of that building. They also used that building for surveillance during big events like the Super Bowl we had here, and Homeland Security used that Eastgate Mall as a hub, and they tied in a bunch of surveillance cameras around the city and various choke points and high crime areas. And it's a real shady looking place. I mean, it looks like a FEMA camp / crack house / gulag. I mean, it's a real shady looking place. But as far as that I'm aware of, that's something that that is currently being used. So that's just a heads up, guys. Like I said, this isn't just something that's happening here in Indiana. It's happening throughout the country. Let's see here. The LA Weekly reported in January that the Stingray intended to fight terrorism was used in far more routine Los Angeles police criminal investigations, apparently without the court's knowledge, that it probes the lives of non-suspects living in the same neighborhood with a suspect. Critics say the technology wrongfully invades technology, and that is uncontrolled use by law enforcement raise constitutional questions. It is the biggest threat to cell phone privacy you don't know about. Um, so just be aware. It's being abused. Here in LA, it says right here, out of 155 cell phone investigations conducted by LAPD between June and September 2012, none of these cases involved terrorism, but primarily involved drugs and other felonies. Well, of course. I mean, anybody with half a brain knows at this point that you're more likely to die of a bee sting than you are to die of a terrorist attack. So this is just another tool they're rolling out in the name of security, when all it's doing is taking your freedom and allowing them to build a police state that's going to manage you. So this has been the Indie Soul Prepper. God bless you and yours, and until next time.